AI investment trends. I'm going to dive into some of the hot investment trends in Silicon Valley right now and give you examples of the companies leading the way. Moveworks. This is a Silicon Valley AI startup that's on fire. Its investors include Kleiner Perkins, Lightspeed Ventures, Bain Capital, amongst others. It has raised over $300 million. And what it's doing is it's taking human beings out of the process. So right now, a lot of people are needed to answer questions. These questions can be pretty basic things like, how do I get reimbursed for a laptop I bought? Or when can I go on vacation? When can I schedule my vacation days? Or I have a problem with my retirement plan and I want to know this. These questions consume a lot of people's times and a lot of company resources. So what we're seeing as a general trend is that if AI can replace human workers with intelligent bots that are out there, conversational bots that people can talk to and get the answers. And these can be people within a company that need help within a company, or they can be people who want customer service. They're engaging with the company and they have a problem. They need technical support or customer support. If the AI can get them the answers quickly, that saves an enormous amount of time and makes the people much more efficient within the company. So Moveworks is doing this. It's automating the entire process through natural language processing. And we will see many more companies use this type of technology to literally remove human beings from the equation, making companies much more profitable. This sort of deep automation is the future. Ecubot. The fintech space is hot. And when you combine fintech with AI, you get a whole new way of solving financial problems. Now, Ecubot went through the founder space, incubator, and accelerator. So I know this startup well. And I will tell you, they are solving a really interesting problem. They were the first company to launch an ETF powered by AI. So entirely powered by AI, this ETF. And they got a huge amount of press. And they also got an enormous amount of investment. They are now managing over $1.4 billion in investment using this AI-powered investment tool. And they have since actually gone on to build a platform. And this platform is designed to manage portfolios for large institutions like HSBC, the big bank. They are using Ecubot to help manage their portfolio of investments, their stocks, getting data from them, figuring out the trends, and really getting custom models generated. So we're seeing this in Ecubot, but across the financial industry, we're going to see AI making more and more of the decisions because AI is so much better at processing data and understanding trends and making forecasts than a human could ever be. Soul Machines. This is a really interesting startup because it really points the direction towards the future. What Soul Machines does is they actually create lifelike avatars online. So these avatars look like humans. They can maintain eye contact. They have facial expressions that can convey emotions, and they can engage in a dialogue with people. So they are deploying these AI avatars online to help people get answers and buy products and use websites. For example, if you are shopping online at an online store, well, one of their AI avatars could be your personal shopping assistant, guiding you through the process. If you go to an online bank, one of their AI avatars could be the teller that interacts with you and helps you with your banking needs. If you need medical care and you want to consult with your healthcare provider, instead of talking to a human doctor, you may be talking in the future to one of Soul Machine's AI avatars that can actually answer your questions, help you, potentially even using the AI, diagnose your condition. So this is where we're headed with the combination of human-like avatars and artificial intelligence powering them. Algorithmia. This is a startup which represents a different type of AI startup. What they're focused on is actually allowing companies to build machine learning models faster and better. So the problem they're solving is that 85% of machine learning models never make it out into the real world. They never succeed. What Algorithmia does is actually manage the entire process. So when you're building a model, you can test it out, you can use Algorithmia to actually make sure it works, and you can have a much higher success rate. So in general, the trend is AI is being used within infrastructure to actually facilitate and make the process better and more efficient. And we're going to see applications like this for AI all over the place in the future. DeepLight, this is another early stage AI startup in Silicon Valley. And what they are doing is actually optimizing neural networks. So their mission is to optimize these neural networks so that you can do AI processing on small devices that are very limited in the amount of energy they can consume. So for example, you send a drone up into the sky and the drone is gathering visual images. The drone could actually process those visual images locally using much less power because it is optimized entirely. The entire neural network is optimized by DeepLight. So that's the problem they're solving. And it's a very interesting problem as we deploy more and more IoT devices for ag tech, for cars, automobiles, other vehicles that are coming out. And we need to do that processing on those devices. Chooch, this is an AI startup that also came out of our incubator founder space. And Chooch is still at a pretty early stage, but they're solving a really hard problem. What they are doing is they are enabling computer vision on any device. And they manage this process of creating models for computer vision so that the AI could recognize anything from faces to actions to objects, you name it, the AI can recognize that. And their customers are big enterprises. So these enterprises will be using Chooch actually in their operations. For example, for workplace safety, to make it safer workplaces. In hospital rooms, for managing the procedure that doctors go through. For satellite imagery, so that when you get a lot of satellite images, you can actually extract the data you need. This is Chooch AI, and this whole vision recognition space is really hot right now in the AI sector, especially in Silicon Valley. Dewo, this AI startup is tackling the problem of analytics. So we have analytics for everything now in the business world. Everybody has multiple dashboards they have to consult. All this data is coming in. They have graphs. But the hard part is actually knowing what actionable decision to make. This is where Dewo comes in with its AI. It doesn't just give you the analytics. It analyzes them in context and helps business managers actually make the right decision. So it simplifies it in a way that the person doesn't need to go out to data scientists or other people to try to figure out what all these analytics mean and how they translate into their actual business decisions. Eightfold. This is another AI startup that's on fire. They have just closed a $220 million Series E round, and they are growing like crazy. They have A-list customers. What they do is they have built a talent management system powered by AI. And what this does is it allows companies to look at their employees and match their employees with job opportunities within the company. So if employees want to do something in the future, the AI will analyze all their data and actually recommend a career path for them. Also, the platform is used by recruiters who want to find the right employees for certain positions. So it takes all that data that employees have accumulated and does an analysis on it so that the recruiter can know who's right for what job. And lastly, it allows employees to find opportunities. So it works on behalf of the employees to tell them where the best opportunities for them are. Otter is another AI startup, but this startup is really fun. So what they do is they actually automate the process of going into meetings and transcribing what is said. So they can be trained to recognize certain voices, they can be trained to understand certain tech terminology, and they can actually participate in a meeting by taking down all the notes and then sharing those notes with everybody in the meeting and even those people who didn't attend the meeting. Otter actually just released a new assistant that's pretty cool. So what this assistant does is you can actually program it to enter a Zoom meeting, participate in the Zoom meeting, transcribing everything that's going on, and then leave the Zoom meeting that you didn't even attend, and under your name, share all that information with anybody you want. So as we can see from all these tech startups, they are taking things that we do individually, that people do within corporations, and processes within corporations, and actually using AI to make them not only smarter and more efficient, but actually replace very costly and time-consuming processes that currently exist within our organizations, within our companies, within governments. That is the future of AI. I hope you enjoyed the talk. If you liked it, you can come to founderspace.com. You can check out our latest events, contact us, and see my latest books, Make Elephants Fly, Surviving a Startup, and The 5 Forces. You can also find me on all the major social networks. Just search for Founderspace.